Title: I received a surprise gift from my cheating wife on our wedding anniversary. When I opened it, I found a divorce agreement inside. She smirked and said, "It's done." I stayed silent. Start: she called it a surprise gift, wrapped in gold paper, tied with a red ribbon, the kind we used to use for each other's birthdays. Her smile didn't reach her eyes. Mine didn't even try. I placed the box on the table between us. The silence was thick. When I opened it, a stack of papers sat neatly inside. A divorce agreement. Her signature already bled across the bottom in confident ink. She leaned back, folded her arms, and said, "It's done." For a moment I looked at her, the woman I once swore to protect from the world. Now I realized I should have protected myself from her instead. I stayed silent, reached for the pen, and signed my name without hesitation. Then I slid the papers back toward her and said, "That's your gift back." I stood. My voice didn't tremble when I added, "Now it's time to leave." Then I made a call, and that call changed everything. We met 12 years ago, under fluorescent cafe lights and foolish dreams. She was laughter in human form, unpredictable, magnetic, alive. I thought I was lucky to have her. I built our world brick by brick, while she decorated it with smiles. She used to tell me I made her feel safe. I should have asked, safe from what? For years I missed the signs. Late-night work calls, perfume that wasn't hers, the sudden privacy around her phone. I convinced myself marriage had rhythms, that love sometimes just grew quiet. But one night her phone lit up while she was in the shower. The name on the screen wasn't one I recognized. A. Malik, Heart. I didn't need to open the messages. The heart was enough. That's when the storm began. Pain has a strange way of sharpening focus. I didn't scream. I didn't confront her. I observed. For 3 months, I learned her patterns like a scientist studying a specimen. I cloned her SIM, set up hidden cameras in the living room, traced every transaction. She wasn't just unfaithful. She was transferring money out of our joint account, preparing to leave. Every smile she gave me was strategy. Every kiss was a lie she didn't have to tell. The man, Adil Malik, was her coworker. Divorced, mid-level manager, a man with cheap cologne and cheaper taste. I found their pictures, hotel rooms, weekend trips, birthday dinners. I cataloged everything. I didn't want revenge at first. I wanted understanding. But when I discovered the hidden apartment lease in both their names, signed 2 months ago, I stopped wanting to understand. I wanted justice. I started with silence. It unnerved her. The less I reacted, the bolder she became. While she laughed over late-night meetings, I moved the assets. Quietly. I closed our joint accounts, shifted company shares, rerouted payments, and revised the property ownerships she thought she controlled. Every signature she once faked, I now had proof of. Then I hired a lawyer, not for divorce, for documentation. Everything she touched was now traced back to her, her messages, her financial manipulations, her infidelity. By the time she handed me that gift box, she had already lost everything. She just didn't know it yet. The call I made that night wasn't random. It was to my lawyer. At 10:47 p.m., legal papers were filed. Not divorce papers, but fraud charges. At 11:12 p.m., her bank accounts were frozen. By morning, her company's HR received an anonymous email with all her compromising photos. From her work account. Her world began to unravel quietly, like a silk thread slipping through fingers. The next morning, she came downstairs in the same silk robe she wore the day she told me she loved me. Her eyes were puffy, her phone buzzing endlessly. "What did you do?" she whispered. I didn't answer immediately. I stirred my coffee, watching the steam rise like the last breath of something dying. "I gave you what you asked for," I said. "A clean break." Her voice cracked. You ruined me. No, I corrected. You did that the day you decided to celebrate betrayal with a ribbon. I stood up and placed the divorce papers back in front of her, now stamped, notarized, and legally binding. You're free, just like you wanted. But you'll leave with what you brought. Her lips trembled. You can't do this. I smiled faintly. I already did. By noon, she was gone. She left without saying goodbye, carrying 2 suitcases and the weight of her own choices. Adil Malik didn't pick up her calls. Turns out his wife, the one he divorced, had received copies of those same photos. The dominoes fell beautifully. Within a week, she lost her job. Her name was whispered in boardrooms like a cautionary tale. By the second week, her car was repossessed. By the third, she texted me, "Can we talk?" I didn't reply. Some silence is sacred. Months later, I drove past her by accident. She was at a bus stop, hair tied back, phone clutched in her hand like it still held power. She didn't see me. I didn't stop. Revenge isn't about spectacle. It's about balance, about restoring what betrayal tried to take: control, peace, dignity. People say vengeance is a fire that burns both sides. They're wrong. It's a storm, cold, precise, cleansing. And when it passes, the air feels clearer. Now, when I sit alone in the same house we built together, I don't feel emptiness. I feel silence, heavy, earned silence. I kept the box she gave me, the ribbon, the wrapping, all of it. Sometimes I open it just to remind myself of what calm looks like before a storm hits. Because that day, she thought she ended something. She didn't know she was just starting mine. And when I made that call, I didn't just take back my freedom. I gave her the gift she truly deserved: a life without me in it. The calm after the storm.